So let's bring it full circle. You retired a couple years ago, 2022. So as you reflect, you're not in it every day, but how do you reflect on today's college athletics and your experiences?
Well, right at that time when I retired was when, we had some really major changes in college athletics, which paying players, the NIL space, and then right after that, here came revenue share. And it was right after we had all the COVID incidents. And it was talk about an upheaval. It was like an earthquake and a giant fault, in my opinion. And, it has shifted. And, you talk about whether we're going backwards. But in fact, what's happening with all of the monies situation, the revenue share, college sport programs are allowed to give up to $20 million per year to pay revenue share to our student athletes. Now, that's a lot of money out of a budget even like ours. So you think about some of the smaller schools who don't make as much money as we make. We are the number 2 budget in the country based on some of the things I read. But we spend a lot of money on making that money. And so what's happening is definitely a leveling off of all the Olympic sports because the money is flowing to largely football and men's basketball. And whether it's revenue share or so many of our donors who are now shifting to donating to our NIL so we can afford to get the great players to come. And the transfer portal, that was one of the major seismic shifts where student athletes, to a degree, rightfully so, they pick an institution, it's not for them, but they've always had the ability to leave. But we used to say if you leave, you sit out for a year, although that was often waived. It was very common, especially in the Olympic sports. If a kid didn't like it at Michigan, they could leave and we would release them.
Which is what happened with me. So Carolina waived. And, yeah.
Yeah. They didn't hold too many people to that, but it was a way to kids, first of all, make thoughtful decisions based on your long-term future. And, you can argue whether kids have the right to come and go. But some of these kids, I was in a meeting the other day. I still am in the athletic department. I'm considered a special advisor to nobody.
Sounds like a good job.
But if anybody needs advice, I'm here. And we had a student athlete that we're trying to figure out how to find classes for. This is their 4th school. And, you wonder, well, where are they going to say? What's their bumper going to say? Bumper sticker going to say?